Okay, so now we're going to do multiplying polynomials. We're going to find the product, and then we're going to write it in standard form. So the first one, number 1, the way I'm going to show you this is we're going to do the box method. So it's a binomial, so 2 terms times 2 terms. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a 2 by 2 box. And there's no box there for you, so we're going to make our own. So now we have a 2 by 2 box. And on the side of our box, we're going to put one of our binomials. So x and a 2. So the x goes with this box, the 2 goes with that box. And then the x goes at the top, and then a -3 over here. Okay, so now what we do is we're multiplying bases. We're going to add exponents. So x times x, so we're going to add 1 plus 1 is x to the 2nd power. And then it's -3 times, and there's an invisible 1, so it's -3, and keep the x. And then we're going to go x times 2, 2x. And then 2 times -3 is -6. Okay, so now we filled up our boxes by multiplying each term with the other. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add what's inside the boxes. So now I have x to the 2nd power, and I just have 1, so I'm going to put x to the 2nd power, and I use that one. Okay, now I have x's. I have a -3x and a positive 2x. So 3 minus 2 is 1, and it's going to be a -1, and I keep the x. So I've used those 2 boxes. And what do I have left? I have a -6. So there's my answer. Usually we don't put the 1 in front of it, so I'm going to take that 1 away and just put x. So there's my answer, and it is in standard form. It's in descending order. 2, 1, none. Okay, so that's a 2 by 2 box. It's binomial multiplied by a binomial. Okay, the next one. This one, the box is already there for you, and you're going to then put it's a 2 by 3, so I've got the 2 terms going to be over here, so the x and then the +4, each of them have a box, and then these 3 terms go at the top. So we have x squared, positive 3x, and then a -7. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to multiply, and we're going to multiply x squared times x. So we're multiplying bases. We're going to add exponents. 2 plus 1 is 3, so it's x to the 3rd. Then we have 3 times 1 is 3, and we're multiplying bases. We're going to add exponents. So 1 plus 1 is 2, so it's x to the 2nd power. Then 1 times -7 is -7, and there's just one x. So that we did everything with x now. Now we're going to do the 4. 4 times, and there's that invisible 1 here. 4 times 1 is 4, and we have x squared. 4 times 3 is 12, and we only have one x, so we're just going to write the x down here. And then 4 times -7 is -28. Okay? Alright, so now we multiplied everything. The next step is to combine like terms. So I'm going to find my cursor here somewhere. There it is. Okay, so now I'm just going to write it in standard form using the biggest exponent first. So I've got x to the 3rd, and there's just this one x to the 3rd. So I did that one. I'm going to cross it off. I used it. Then I have x to the 2nd right here, and x to the 2nd right there. So it's 3 plus 4 is 7, and it's positive 7x to the 2nd. I use those 2. I'm going to cross them off. And then I have 12 minus 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So then I have a positive 5. So we're going to find my cursor again. Had to answer the phone. Okay, so it's a positive 5 somewhere in there. There we go. A positive 5 and you keep the x. So I use those two, and now I have a negative 28. Okay, and then is it in standard form? 3, 2, 1, none. It is, and this is my final answer right here. Okay, so the next one. The next one looks a little different. So we need to move it down. It doesn't look like a 2 by 2, but actually it is. So if I look at this, I can rewrite this problem as 2x minus 3 times 2x minus 3. Because it would just be like writing, it'd be like writing 2 squared, and you write 2 squared as 2 times 2. Well, instead of a 2, we have 2x minus 3, and we're going to times it with a 2x minus 3. So now we have a 2 by 2 square. So I'm going to make my square. So it's going to be a 2 by 2 box. Hopefully my boxes are big enough for me to write in. Okay, at the side I'm going to go 2x for that box, and negative 3x for this box, a 2x up here, and a negative 3x there. So now I'm going to just multiply. 2 times 2 is 4, and then we're going to add exponents. And we have x to the 1 plus 1 is 2, second power. Then you have 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, and there's just one x there. Then negative 3 times positive 2 is negative 6, and there's just one x there. And then negative and negative is a positive, and it's positive 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, now I just go ahead and write out, I've got 4x to the second. I use that one, so I'm going to cross that off. And now I have a negative 6 and a negative 6, which is negative 12x. I use that one. And then my final is just my number, my constant, which is 9. So I have my answer, 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. Okay, so that's my final answer, and I'll put a box around it. Okay, the next one, your box is already done for you. I'm going to go ahead and create a box for myself, and it's going to be a 2 by 3. So I'm going to make it a little bit longer. So here's my 2 over here. My 2 is going to be 2x and a negative 5. Then my box of 3 is going to be this. It's going to be 4x squared on the top minus 3x, that's my other box, and then a minus 1. Okay, so now you're going to go through and we are going to multiply. So I've got 4 times 2 is 8. There's an invisible 1, so 2 plus 1 is 3, so it's x to the third. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. And then I have 1x plus 1x is 2x, so x squared. And then negative 1 times 2 is negative 2x. Okay, so I multiplied the 2x with everything. Now I'm going to do the negative 5. Negative 5 times 4 is negative 20. And it's x to the second. And then negative 5 times negative 3 is positive 15x. And negative 1 and negative 5, so negative 5 and negative 1, negative is positive 5. Okay, now we're going to combine like terms. So how many x to the thirds do I have? And I can't find my cursor this afternoon. There it is. Okay, I have 8 x to the third. I use that one. There's no other one, so I'm going to cross that off. And then I have an x to the second here and x to the second here. So I have negative 6 and negative 20, so it's negative 26x to the second. And I use those two. And then I have 15 and a negative 2, so 15 minus 2 is 13, and it's going to be positive 13x. So I use those two, and now I have a positive 5. And there's my answer for number 4. Okay. So now I want you to go through, and now you have 2 more problems, and I want you to try those on your own. I'm going to go ahead and write the answers here, and once you've tried it on your own, you set up your boxes and you multiply them. Come back and check to make sure you got the right answer. Okay, so there's my answers for A and B. I went ahead and I showed my work for you to check. Hopefully you got them all right and you're good to go. Okay, shorter video today. Yay.